Welcome back to the Pit Stop Ranch. In this video, I'm going to go ahead and talk about some advice that I like to give to people who are thinking about jumping into the project car hobby, or for those who are in it but they've lost momentum on the project and they're wondering how to keep that from happening, get back in there and keep it from happening. Now, back in the beginning of this channel, I did a series of videos on project carring, and they got rousing comments such as,
"Oh my God, this is so awesome, thank you,"
and
"I can't believe you don't have more followers, man.
And of course,
Your audio sucks, and this is completely unwatchable. You should be ashamed."
ouch. Most people out there do not have the benefits of a pathetic social life and borderline antisocial personality that gives them the benefits of copious amounts of free time to immerse themselves in supporting the addiction of ferrous oxide. You know, instead they have significant others and children and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. To each their own, I guess. So when you find yourself in the situation where plenty of distractions around to demand your precious project car time, here's a strategy you could employ that I recommend to anyone who's interested in asking. You know who you are in Reddit. Kind of sum it up as the 15 minutes a day strategy. Now, though I call it 15 minutes a day, it can be 15, it can be 30. And you also want to include a couple hours every weekend. And there'll be a few exceptions, you know, when vacation has to happen and so forth. But the point is, carved into your regular schedule is 15 minutes a day, 2 hours, 4 hours every weekend. That's it in a nutshell. Now, every day might be a challenge for some of you. You might be forced to go ahead and lie to your wife and tell her you're with the girlfriend while you sneak out to the garage to put in your quality time with your beloved hot rod. But however you do it, maybe instead you don't do every work day after work, assuming a normal 5-day a week, Monday through Friday work schedule. Obviously adjust to meet your actual employment or schedule school requirements, but let's say a traditional Monday through Friday work schedule, Saturday and Sunday weekends free. Maybe you do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, in the evening you spend the 15 minutes or half an hour, whatever you can afford. And then you got Monday and Friday evenings to recover, date night or whatever. And then you spend 4 hours on Sunday after you get done mowing the lawn every week. Something in that category. Something where everyone, all the distractions in your life are trained, including yourself, that this time is for mainlining rust. The rest of the time is for everything else. You might think that's really easy for me to go ahead and say this because clearly I spend way too much time busy doinking around on all of this. Now you might think that this isn't a viable strategy. Au contraire, which of course is American for I want you to think I'm smart, so I'm butchering a French term. That means on the contrary. This is the Pale Horse. It was an impulse buy. Price was exactly right for what it is and the condition it was in, with clear eyes on what that is. Idea was more or less to get it, put it in the hedgerow, and get to it when we get to it. Except, decided to strike with iron was hot, and treating the rest of our iron oxide, using our obligation to get Jimmy restored and on the dry lake beds doing land speed racing as an analogy for real life. We have employed this strategy of 15 to 30 minutes in the evenings during the work week and 2 hours most weekends for the entire time on this vehicle. For the entire time we owned it, that is the level of effort and the approach that we have taken on this vehicle to get it from a non-running lump to this. This simple technique, this scheduling, this building this habit will enable you to go ahead and make progress on your car. And if you couple this with the project management techniques I outlined on the previous video, or my project management video, you'll set yourself up so that even when you have no money, there's something you can take apart, clean, and put back together. There's some low budget project you can do while you're saving to do the high budget stuff. And by saying, oh, what am I gonna do tomorrow night for the 15 minutes? You train yourself to think that way, and then you think, what am I gonna do this weekend? What's the larger project I'm gonna do this weekend? And what needs to be set up? Can I mask this off? Can I find the hardware and have all the hardware together? Can I do the preliminary steps for that larger project so that when you go to do the larger project, you get it done in your tight schedule? That is part of the magic of it, is it changes the way you look at it and you think about it. And it's not, I don't know what I'm going to do next, so I'm not going to do anything. Or, you know, I really want to work on it, but I don't have time or money. It's, no, I'm going to be working on it. So what can I do in spite of my lack of time, in spite of my lack of money? And like I said, 15 to 30, if you go out to do 15 minutes, it becomes 30 minutes pretty quick. And you get into an efficient rhythm and you get those hours in to get the project car done. Now, that strategy, the Pale Horse is a perfect example of where this strategy is 100% a win. It's a complete car. It has a few things wrong with it. It is a popular car with massive parts availability, and it also has a huge community to support it with knowledge and parts and advice on what to do to get it back on the road. Now, Old Maki here is an extreme project car example. It is pretty far from what we recommend most people starting out with, whether it's your first or your second project car. This is the extreme opposite, and this is an advanced project car. One which makes for some good video because progress can be shown dramatically in huge steps. The same strategy will work with a project like this. It's just going to take a lot longer because the number of hours that the Pale Horse has in it, 40-50 hours, This is a 2,000 hour job. It might be a 5,000 hour job. That's a total of a 100-hour job to get it to where we want it. 2,000-hour job. So, putting in, 5 hours a week to get a 2,000-hour job done, it's going to take a hell of a lot of weeks to get there. That said, you can sync something like this. You stay with the 15 minutes every day after work or after class schedule, and you use that time to prepare to go ahead and then spend 8 or 9 or 10 hours or 15 hours or whatever you can afford on making the big fixes, the big progress on this. And then once you reach a certain threshold, a certain level, then maybe you roll back those big weekends. It's not sustainable to keep that up. Well, we kind of do it every weekend, but we're weird that way. It would be something that you would shift to a more sustainable schedule, like 4 hours every weekend, an hour or two spread out through your work schedule to be able to work on something like that. Anyways, I hope you got a lot out of this video. If you like what we're doing here at the Pit Stop Ranch, please hit the like button. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe. And until next time, have a Project Car-tastic day. Until next time, get out there and go Project Car.